Thank you guys for being here. I know that with time change, habit change, sometimes it takes repetition, and we're gonna see how this time works out for everyone. I want to give it a few tries, and honestly, for me, not having to scream over my children while talking to you is like super nice because my brain multitasks all day long, and I'm exhausted of doing that. So, thanks for making it. First of all, huge congratulations to Celicia. She had her baby boy today. I know she posted it in her diamond thread, which is so exciting. And mom and baby are doing good. So, we're super excited for her. And then I am like still, it almost left me speechless today, all the announcements. And I will tell you that they took one of the announcements off of the docket that they were supposed to talk about, and they've shifted the marketing plan a little bit. And this is for the test group that I'm in for a new product. And they've had to shift the marketing plan, which is why they didn't announce it today, which I'm kind of thankful because there was a lot. And it's like, I don't know. I've never, the thing that I keep seeing all these coaches posting and in all my message threads and all the corporate groups I'm in is what a time, what an amazing time to be a coach. I'm so grateful for a company that has so much forethought into the needs of right now and our culture right now. And I talked to Jimmy, my husband, for those of you who don't know, and I was like, I think it's time for us to buy some stock. Like, before this goes live, it's just going to skyrocket. I don't see how it won't, because who knows who knows how long all the COVID nationwide stuff is going to be locked down. Even though mask mandates are coming off, people are still freaked out, and who knows how long we're going to be in this weird world. And the virtual, like, to have the world's most efficient, biggest virtual gym with classes like this and super trainers and meal prepping, like live meal prep courses. I want to go to that, right? And live cooking classes. How fun is that? And then to be able to say, like, we've been doing our Zoom gyms, which have been like, they used to be a lot more active. Jamie is super consistent, and Nikki and Thea show up at 4:45 in the morning. I had to change. I'm up at 7, or I'm working out at 7:30 now, but to be able to tell your team, like, hey, let's go work out with Joel at 6 o'clock. Everyone register. Space is limited. You have to get there on time. Like, it's gonna be a whole different dynamic, and I'm like over the moon excited about that. And our new spin instructor. By the way, have you seen her picture? I'm like, girl, you are smoking hot, and I want to spin bike because I want those results. So I'm really excited about all those. So for those, if anyone has not watched the video, it is more powerful, I think, watching that video than just reading the bullet points. But definitely check that out. And how could I forget the 10 bags of cookies and cream Shakeology that I will be buying next month in June. We don't have a date yet, but it's going to be in June, and I'm super, yeah, so excited. I was so the chunky kid who always wanted cookies and cream milkshakes, and that has not left me. I still am that at heart. I still want those. So many exciting things. Make sure you check that out. And then last two things, I just wanted to remind everyone to check out our summit details. I know everyone on this call is going, but please check out the logistics of that. And if there's something that you have a question about that I didn't put there, please ask, because I want to make sure that I'm covering everything. As we get closer and we get a better idea of how many people are going to come, I will be sharing more details about some fun things that I'll be able to put together, and things about our events night and that dinner that we're going to have. If it's going to be catered or how that's going to work, it just depends. If we have, right now we have 11 confirmed coming. It depends if we're going to have that or like 25, which there's potential for it to explode. I just don't know. So I'm excited about that. I know for sure that we're gonna have some fun pictures, and it's gonna be an incredible event, and beach time, and just to get to know each other, and a little vacation for everyone. It's gonna be awesome. And then lastly, I just wanted to remind everyone of the summer strong sale that's happening through the end of the month. So when you're inviting people and you're following up, make sure that you throw that in there. I've been toying around with the idea of doing like a mini flash sale at the end of the month to incorporate this. I don't I don't know yet if that's too much on everyone. But even if we do like a raffle for anyone who buys the challenge pack this entire month and really focus it on the last like 3 days or whatever, that could be something that's fun too. So okay, diving in to our leadership book. How was this week for you guys? We had the law of solid ground and the law of respect. Was it good? Let me open this.
I just finished it like 10 minutes before
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, so did I.
it came in here.
Here's the thing. I think in the workbook there's a lot, like a lot of questions and a lot of application and a lot of all of that. Which I think is amazing because that's how we learn is by doing and answering questions and thinking through. But please do not get discouraged or down on yourself if you don't do it all because I'm not doing it all. Like I know that I can't, but in thinking through all of this, I'm growing and I'm learning. And that's the most important thing is that you're applying these laws and you're recognizing these are the things I need to work on. This is what I do well, and this is what I need to grow in, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I really recommend, I say this every time, and I'll continue to, downloading the Audible book if you haven't, because when you're in your car, you can listen to the chapters for the week over and over again. And like, I love hearing about Harriet Tubman, like, and her story. And it's just like, man, and visualizing that as I'm driving, it's just really helpful to drive it into your brain, I think, in my opinion. Um, okay, so let's talk about chapter 6. A couple bullet points here. No leader can break trust with his people and expect to keep influencing them. Trust is the foundation of leadership. So I want to ask you guys, how do you feel that this applies to us as coaches? That no leader can break trust with his people and expect to keep influencing them. Trust is the foundation of leadership. What do you think that means for us? Looks like for us.
Well, if I was to take that like pretty basic, if I am going to have somebody invest in a challenge pack with Shakeology and I don't use it, I'm not using it consistently, and they were to find that out, like if I was lying about the product, saying all these great things that it does for me, but not actually using it, and they were to find that out, you're done, right? Like there's no, you have nothing. You've built it on nothing. Same with the, I don't know if my internet, sorry guys. Same with exercise. Like if you're not doing a program, then you can't, you can't sell that to somebody. You can't have somebody sign up with a program. So if I was to pick out like my biggest, and I don't think it's trust because I'm very honest about it, but my nutrition is not, I don't do the nutrition like I should.
Yeah.
I say that to people.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I thought of that and also like how you're presenting yourself like in our stories or on our social medias. If we're portraying ourselves one way, like, oh, look at all of this stuff we do and we're so perfect and all of this stuff, but that's not really how we live our lives or what we really think. If we're just trying to say what we think that people want to hear, I don't think that's helping anybody for one. And it's not true. It doesn't make somebody want to, respect you when they're like, oh, that's not, I know she doesn't eat all perfectly every day, like you were saying with the nutrition, because I don't. And I know when I post stories, I'm like, okay, I've kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, and I try to be honest too, because we're all human and everybody, has struggles. And that's what I feel like people relate to anyways. So
Yeah.
might as well be honest about it.
Right? 100%. Even in our bot, like our bod groups, I know that when I share, like, oh man, like I haven't been doing this well, or this is what I've been struggling with, or this is how I fell on my face. Every time, it's always the responses I always get are, thank you so much for being transparent. Because how many times do, like, especially in the beginning of this, people want to quit because they feel like they've fallen short and like they're a failure. But when you see the person that you respect and admire and who's leading it also say, yeah, this is hard. And yeah, I did eat too much pizza. Or yeah, fill in the blank. I skipped my workout, and it's almost, we have to teach people and we have to master ourselves. It's how we choose to keep going, because it's a lifelong thing. I think there's so much value in that.
Mhm.
Awesome, you guys. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So he talks about that a leader builds trust by consistently exemplifying three things: competence, connection, and character. People will forgive occasional mistakes if they see you're still growing as a leader, but they won't trust someone who slips in his character. I thought this was really good to remember, because we get it's easy to be really intimidated in the beginning of coaching, even in the first years, because you're going to mess up. Like, you're going to say the wrong thing, you're going to do the wrong thing, you're going to skip something, you're going to forget something, you're going to 5 years down the road wish you had done things differently in the beginning. It's just part of the journey, and I mess up all the time. But I think if we are honest that, hey, we're growing and we're learning, that it doesn't matter, people will still want to be a part of what you're doing. But if we lie about it and we have bad character and our hearts shift to be in the wrong spot, that's why our team, we're all very different, but we're very united in that we put people first, and that we're transparent and we really want to serve people. And this isn't just about selling something. Like, we, all of us have hearts to really serve and make a difference in people's lives. The character there is what people respect and admire and want to be a part of. Okay. Leadership is a combination of strategy and character, but if you must be without one, be without strategy. I loved that quote that they included. Okay, so a couple questions for you guys. How is your character perceived both within your inner circle and in your marketing? How do you think your character is perceived? This is hard without asking people, but what would you say?
I think with my inner circle, everybody knows me to be just really honest. um, because I don't lie very well anyways, so there's not really a point in me trying to. I don't really know though about outside of that. I'm not sure. I hope they would think that I am because I try to just be myself,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
I know it's hard, and that's
Sorry.
okay.
I'm
That's
like, I
totally
don't
fine to
know.
do that. So here's a good strategy, and it's actually a really fun exercise to do for each other. Maybe we did this a long time ago. Maybe we'll do it again. Is to go, like, on your Instagram or your Facebook. Instagram's easy because you can see a grid. And if you look, so I just pulled up your Instagram, Elena, and if you go through and you look at your pictures, what do you think people will think of who you are? And it's a really, I have to do this about for myself too, consistently, because do people know that I actually run a business, and that I'm always open for clients or open for coaches? Do they know what I'm passionate about? Do they know what I stand for? Do they know my character? And it's a really good exercise, because then you can say, okay, so looking at this grid of mine, what what do people think, and what do I want them to know about me? And then that shifts, what do I need to share? And it's hard because most people get to know us with our stories a lot too, right? But that's a good exercise for us all, to, like, what's our north star? What do I want people to feel and see when they look at what I'm sharing? And we have to remember, social media is marketing. So they know what I have to, the surface and the transformation I have to offer. Anyone else want to answer that one? How do you think your character is perceived in your marketing?
I think that I'm very similar to the to everything you guys have said. I think my inner circle knows me really well, and knows my true character. I think if I was to, like, be honest and look at my Instagram, I don't know. I feel like I try to do a very honest job of, like, sharing the struggles that I have, um, which are like anxiety and depression and control, like needing control, and basically in the middle of a bunch of uncontrollable.
Wow. Shame, you're freezing.
People, I guess.
Okay, you froze there for a second, but I think I got most of it. Yeah, I think it's something for all of us to like think about, because for me, I want my like my people who are in my family know who I am, know my character because they're around me, and I want people to get to know me because they're going to build trust with me and my marketing as well. And I think that's what it comes down to. All the Instagram logistics and all that aside, we have to build trust through our marketing. And that's what it's there for. Okay. Um. So here's a question. Even as a brand new coach, how could strong character benefit your business, even if you don't know anything? Think of the difference between weak character and strong character. Someone who comes into this business as a coach with strong character, what are the benefits that they're going to have even when they don't know anything?
Well, I feel like if you have a strong character, you probably already have people who want to follow you because they
Mhm.
know they can trust you. Um, and I feel like you also have a good base just to be a strong leader because that
Mhm.
the character is the most important thing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. They probably tend to be a little bit more bold
Yeah,
and not
exactly.
as
And go
afraid.
for it.
Hmm.
Yes. Where I'm like in the middle, I get like so shy. Like even when I try to post something before I post it, I have to check everything like 10 times. I'm trying to get over that, but it is so hard because I'm like, did I mess up on anything? I get so anxious.
You're not alone. You're not
I'm
alone there.
working on it though.
Jamie I'm like so amazed at you and Amy. Jamie and Amy, both of you guys, your Instagram and everything's grown so much since you started, and in such a genuine way too. So it just comes with practice, I feel like, in personal development. As we grow our confidence and get clarity on our mission and what we're doing. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Elena. Okay, how do you establish strong character in your marketing and with your team? What does that look like, do you think? Any thoughts? What does strong character look like from a marketing, like a social media perspective?
I feel like again, like what we were talking about, where we're sharing, our struggles and not only that, but also what we have to offer too, because we do have so much to offer to other people. Like when we share about our journey and also what we do, like our shakes that we drink or whatever, um, and just being really transparent into our journey. So that way people know, like, oh, that person's real.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
absolutely. I think consistency is probably one of those things
Oh.
too.
I need to work. I'm working on that though.
That's good.
I
From a
am.
marketing perspective, I think consistency is something that shows people I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm here through the thick and the thin. I'm figuring it out. It's not easy. I don't know everything, but this is what I'm learning along the way.
I just had this conversation with Joni she has done an MLM before as well, the same one that I had done before. And she was afraid to post her first like coming out post or whatever. She was afraid that people would say, what's she doing now? Right? Like,
Right. Yeah,
am I freezing?
a little bit, but I heard that.
So we had this conversation, and can you hear me?
Hey, James, try turning off your video while you're talking and see if that helps.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So it was just a really good like reflection for myself as well, because I remember feeling that same way.
Right.
And my husband even had just told me, he has seen it. This isn't going anywhere. But in the beginning, when I first asked him, we had this like heart to heart about me doing this. There was that like, oh gosh, what is she going to try this time
Yeah.
kind of feeling. And so just that consistency really does show people like, I'm not going anywhere. You can like judge it or not like it, but I'm still going to show you my workout every morning, a little clip.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. So important. Also, you turn your pretty face on when you're not talking because I love it. Okay. So I loved this quote by Jerry West that he included. And he said, "You can't get too much done in life if you only work on the days when you feel good." And I was like, oh my gosh. We forget because we started this business essentially for free. We just bought our own stuff that we have to do it if you really want to build an actual legitimate business. This is different from being an affiliate coach where you just send affiliate links and you don't really want to build a business. When you want to build a business, we have to show up on the days that don't feel good and the days that are hard. And I think that we don't talk about that part enough, because anything that's great, a great marriage, great relationship with your kids, a great business, all those things are going to require really hard days. So if your people don't know, oh, this is a good one, if your people don't know what to expect from you as a leader, at some point they won't look to you for leadership. I'm like, oh snap, I need that on a poster. And I realized that in the beginning, well, I would say in the midpoint, when I first had the goal of, oh, I want our team to be a 5-star elite team, and first had that goal, I felt like, well, I feel weird saying that to a team. Like, I want to be a 5-star diamond coach, so you need to become diamond. I didn't want to be like, that's not me. I had all this weirdness about putting my goals on other people and stressing them out. But really, what it comes down to is people are looking to you, even if you don't have one person sign up under you. They're looking to you for leadership into how high they should aspire and what's possible. And I have told Liz that many times. I loved being a part of her 15-star diamond push. I was her 15th diamond that came along at the last minute, and I'm so thankful. I loved being a part of that. And then she showed me that it was possible that another human being with no superpowers did that, and it was possible. And so I now see that I need to cast a vision for our team of what's possible, because we're in it together and that ripple effect will continue. But if I was so freaked out about putting my own agenda on other people that I was like, no, I'm just going to be a diamond coach, you guys do whatever you want, and I'm just going to stay right here, no one's gonna, like, people are gonna quit, they're gonna fall off, and they're gonna be like, I'm not here to be a diamond coach. Like, I'm not here to be an emerald coach. That's not what I want. People who really want to do something with this, they're gonna go to another team. And so for you, think about that for yourself too, because I know it will get in the heads of pretty much everyone on our team, because we're very selfless. Like, we don't want to push anyone. We don't want to force anything on anyone. We want them to be comfortable, but we also want to uncover their potential. And is your insecurity getting in the way of them seeing their potential? I've had to ask myself that. Yep. I need to tell that person that they totally could be a top 10 coach if they wanted to be. They don't have to be, but they have the potential to be. And then all of a sudden it plants these seeds of, do I want that? I don't know. I got to dive into that a little bit more. Okay. You don't build trust by talking about it. You build it by achieving results, always with integrity and in a manner that shows real personal regard for the people with whom you work. From Craig Weatherup. This, for me, and I'm sure this will resonate with you because of what we talked about, was a great reminder of how important our nutrition is. I'm going to be the first one to tell you that mine has not been on point. The best I was in my nutrition was when I first started as a coach. And all it was containers and a pamphlet. And it wasn't a course and it wasn't anything else. And I was working. So I had to meal prep because otherwise I was eating at the taco truck at the prison. And so that quote was really stuck out to me. Like, people want to see your results. If you're a brand new coach, show other people's results, but in your first 90 days, people are going to want to see that you actually have had some kind of result of improvement with what you're doing. Otherwise, they're not going to have that solid ground, that trust, that respect for you, right? So I think we have to remember that our journey is very much, it's why it's a vital behavior. Okay. Um, the only thing that walks back from the tomb with the mourners and refuses to be buried is the character of a man. This is true. What a man is survives him. It can never be buried. I thought that was so powerful to me. Here's a question that I have with that. Be the kind of coach that makes other coaches in our network better, that challenges our company to be better, and that strangers will want to join because they know you will make them better. How do you gain and maintain the trust of others? And I'm going to give you some context with that. Um, when I was new, I was very like, who am I? Like, at the same time, I was like, you need to do this because it's awesome, you know? But when it came to the business side of things, for the first couple of years, I didn't know what I was doing. And so I always aspired to be on something like the National Wake Up Call or to help our company. And I had these ideas, but I was like, they wouldn't want to hear them because who am I? I'm a diamond coach. That doesn't matter. Here's what I want to challenge all of you is to be the coach that makes other coaches in our network, even if it doesn't benefit you, that makes them better. That's where my YouTube channel has come in for me. And this is going to be different for everybody. But I wanted to teach other coaches how simple it is to become an Emerald coach, how simple it can be to make your first $500, how to become Diamond in 30 days if that's what they wanted to do. Even if my own team is not watching my YouTube channel, I get messages every single month consistently from people saying, you have no idea who I am, but I'm a mom of 5 and I'm home by myself. And you have no idea how much I love watching your YouTube channels. It's so inspiring to me. That makes me feel so good that someone else is benefiting from me adding value. And we learn about value in the next chapter. So, whatever that is for you, if you have an idea or you have a thought or you have a problem that you want to solve for other coaches, do a video about it or put together like a PDF or some slides on Canva and run with it, because not only are you going to be a valued person in our company, it's going to boost your confidence like crazy, which all of this comes down to belief in this business. Success comes down to belief, right? And what you can do. But then people are going to come to you for a business because you're putting it out there that you're teaching about this business. You only have to be one step ahead of them. You only have to be 1 week ahead of 21 Day Fix for people to look to you to lead them in how to start 21 Day Fix. You don't have to be a master. You just have to be a little bit ahead of them. So I know I just like asked you a question and then I answered it. But what do you guys have any ideas or thoughts around this idea of how to gain and maintain the trust of others, even if you're a newer coach? Because most of the people on our team right now are newer coaches. Not really. Does that mindset like resonate at all or help or Jamie, I lost your face, so I figured you're talking. Elena, did you want to say anything? No?
I think it's awesome, like what you said about just taking our ideas and putting them out there for other people, because everyone does have a different way of doing things. And so what each of us do can bring value
Mhm.
to the other people in this business too. And like you said, I think it will build confidence too. So yeah, so I don't know.
Cool.
I'm
Sorry, I
thinking
didn't
of
mean to call you out. For some reason, the
no,
spot
that's okay.
face, and I thought, And Jamie keeps freezing. Okay. That leads us to chapter 7. Unless you guys, do you have anything else that you wanted to share on that previous chapter? So, chapter 7, the law of respect. People naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. People, if someone rates at an 8 in leadership, they're not going to follow a 6. And he told the story of Harriet Tubman, which I've known, but every time that I hear it, and I love the way that he described how unqualified she was. You know, like to me, that's so important. I've always thought this about the Bible too. Like God used the most messed up people to do really amazing things. And it's so encouraging to humanity now because we, like, how many times do we stop ourselves from doing something great because we think we're unqualified? But really, everyone is unqualified. And that's what makes it amazing. You just have to do it anyways. So I love her story. And I love that despite her circumstances, she became an incredible leader. So, my question for you guys is, do you want people to reflect on your life and say the same? Despite her circumstances, she became an incredible leader. What if your challenging circumstances are happening for leadership growth instead of hindering your success like you may have been feeling? Any thoughts on that? How does that make you feel?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, that's my fault. So they had said that Harriet Tubman was, despite her circumstances, she became an incredible leader. So my question to you guys is, do you want people to say that about you at the end of your life? Like, despite her circumstances, she became an incredible leader. What would that mean for you? Is that something that you've been, like, you feel called, you want that to be like in your obituary kind of a thing? I know it's kind of a morbid question, but
I mean, yeah, that I've actually thought of that before. Like, I know it is kind of weird, but I thought like, oh, if something happened to me, how would I want people to remember me?
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have thought about that before, but as in terms of being the coach, okay, I had something I was going to say and now I forgot.
Oh,
but, but this, I don't know, it made me think a little bit about, I signed up a good friend of mine and it was funny because she was like, yeah, I always thought about doing something, but I never was really motivated to do anything. And I was just super real with her about my journey and about, like it's not going to be easy, but this is what I'm doing. Like these were my struggles and I'm still not, where I want to be, but um, this is what I'm doing and I've made a lot of progress along the way. Like, do you want to join me on that journey and we can help each other? And so, well, anyways, I don't really know what my point was supposed to be, but she told me like today, she was like, thank you so much for all of this. Like, you are so motivating and, really
so
help.
cool,
It
right?
like makes me want to cry because I just feel so good that like
Yeah.
I'm helping somebody who needed it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. This is what this is supposed to do. It's so good.
Yeah.
That's
So
so
that just made me feel, just really great. Plus the Harriet Tubman story was just so good too. Like I got teary eyed like during that too. So it was
yeah.
like most
Oh, yes.
amazing.
I love it. It's the coolest thing. Like, again, there's other awesome products out there. There's other great things out there. There's other great network marketing companies out there. But when I like, especially 5 years in of doing this consistently, and so many strangers on the internet who are now good friends of mine who have literally like changed their life, and they tell me, like right now in our bod group right now, Shauna is like kicking ass and she's lost 25 pounds. And when she came to me, she was so desperate and on energy drinks like every single day, multiple, in order to survive. And she's like, I'm so stressed out. Something has to change. And now she's been off of them since March 1st and is the leader in our entire group. And then I've got our first Brit on the team, our first UK member, and she stopped smoking and drinking the last 2 weeks completely,
Wow.
and is doing 2 days with 30-day breakaway, and is like changing her life. It's like, this is what we do for a living. That's so cool. That's so cool. It's amazing. So I'm glad that you shared that. It's so amazing that we get to do this. Jamie, can you hear us now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So I don't know if you had anything you wanted to share, Jamie. I had just asked. They had a quote about Harriet Tubman that despite her circumstances, she became an incredible leader. And I was asking, like, how is that something that you want people to say about you when you're gone? Despite her circumstances, she became an incredible leader. And I think it's definitely something that I want people to say about me. You know, there's something that's so fulfilling about that.
If I'm being 100% honest, I don't think I've ever looked at it that way. I have always thought about that. Like, what would people say about me if I wasn't here tomorrow? Like, what would they think? And it's always come from like, this girl, like, genuinely gives a shit about me. Like, she's a caring person and she never gave up on me. That is more where that comes from. So I wouldn't say that like that they call me a leader has ever really come across my mind, probably until the last like 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I was leading anybody in this business up until Joni like pouring her heart out to me. And then just saying like, I need to do this, And so like, that was kind of that moment. And then of course, like Brittany trusting me, like canceling her coach account and waiting 6 months to like jump in with Team Dream Warriors. Like, then it starts to shift your mind, like my consistency and like the person that I am has shown. So yeah, I would love that if people said that about me now. I just had never thought of it from like that perspective.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's what I love about this too, right? Is that it's so much the mindset transformation that we all have and continue to have from the beginning. We don't just wake up one day and like, I could change the world. It comes in waves, and it comes with challenges. It comes with valleys, and it comes with like being prepared in the valleys to conquer the mountain ahead of us. So I'm glad you shared that. Thank you. Okay. Where is this one? Oh, okay. Question number 4 in this chapter said, who is the person you respect the most in your profession? Why is this person so highly respected? What has this person been able to accomplish? And what I want to hear from you guys is, if you answer this question, and if you haven't yet, think about someone that you highly respect. If you're brand new, it doesn't have to be in our profession, maybe in your life or in their professional career. And then ask yourself, have they been challenged? And have their hardships in life, if you know of any, made you respect them more or less? Is there anything you guys want to share with that?
Well, if I'm talking about business, I'm the person I respect the most is on this call with me. And that's just because you have really like supported and lifted me up throughout all of this. I'm finally able to like talk and not just cry all the time with you, which is like a big win.
So proud of you.
But knowing, obviously living in the same county and the town as you, and knowing me being older than you, and like knowing your story, like was already something that was inspiring and showed like true, like you were already like at that leadership level to me, without the business, like at church or those types of things. But in this, you have definitely shown us how to go. And I think what I wrote was, your ability to shift and pivot has been instrumental in this last year, for sure. And I would even say, from you onboarding me last February to now, you have improved tenfold. And I don't even have anything to really compare it to, other than I've seen it just change. You've changed in the good way.
Yes. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Even through the hard,
Even through
even through the hard season.
the hard. Ah, thank you. Any other thoughts on this, you guys? Like the people that you respect in your life and admire, has challenge in their life made you respect them more or less?
Well, I really respect Felisa. We've gotten, pretty close over the past few months since my coach left. And so she like became my coach and I started coaching and all that. And yeah, especially, now because she had gone back to work full time. And I know I saw her struggle when she first went back. And, her and I talked about it a lot and all of that. But now I see her picking herself back up and getting back into it. And so I'm just really proud of her for doing that because I know she's a great leader and I know that she really wants this. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, it just makes me feel good because we all have those struggles and we all have those doubts and those times when we don't want to do it or we think that we can't do it or it's too much because of everything that's going on. But then when you stop and say, this is what I want and I'm going to do it and I'm putting the time and effort into it, it's something to respect. So.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Well, I think that was like the story of Harriet Tubman is like she didn't ever give up. She said what she was going to do and she did it. And then she continued to do it and she continued to do it. Like people probably were like this, her own husband was like, no. And she was like, all right, well, peace. Like I'm going, like I'm doing this. And so it is that like consistency and not giving up.
And that
That
clarity,
was my
right?
favorite part.
What'd you say, Elena?
I said that was my favorite part, by the way, when she was
Oh,
just like, I don't care if you're my husband, I don't care who you are. No one is going to stand in my way.
yeah.
That was just my favorite.
I totally agree. It was her clarity of her vision. So if you ever read High Performance Habits and Brendan Burchard talks about clarity, and you can be the most driven person in the world, but if you don't know where you're going, you could drive people off of a cliff. You could spin their wheels. That's where burnout comes in. When you're working so hard, you have work ethic and drive and ambition, but you're spinning in circles. You don't have clarity on where you're going. And I think that that's something that happens a lot in this business, and it constantly changes as we change and we get more clarity on who we want to be and the life that we want to live and the business that we want to run. And I love that about her too. I think that's so inspiring and was such a good reminder for me too. you know Awesome. I love it. Okay, moving on, wrapping up here. So at the end of the chapter, he talks about the top 6 ways leaders gain others' respect. And I just wanted to go through those really quick. And any points that stick out to you guys would be like, feel free to unmute yourself. But he talks about. I want to read this one part. So the first one, natural leadership ability. I thought, this is obvious. So we talk about strong character and marketing and how that helps people when they're new coaches. And I think that that's one thing that I've had. However, at the last line, he says one of the greatest potential pitfalls for natural leaders is relying on talent alone. And I think that that's something that I've fallen into. And it's something that I see a lot of people fall into who have a more extrovert personality, is that you naturally attract people because you're loud. Like naturally you get people's attention when you're an extrovert because you're very friendly and it's easy for you to talk to people in the beginning. But when you rely on that alone, it will be your pitfall. And I struggled with that in the first, especially 2 years, maybe probably even 3. And so I'm really thankful to be doing this book because I think it gives us a really balanced approach to powerful leadership, you know? Um, Anyways, I loved that on number 1. Number 2 was respect for others. And he had these 3 lines there. When people respect you as a person, they admire you. When they respect you as a friend, they love you. And when they respect you as a leader, they follow you. I don't know about you, when I read those, like I feel a shift in examples in my life. And there's a responsibility, I feel like, that comes with, it's kind of like what you were saying, Jamie. Like when you had Joni and Brittany join you and like come to you and say, hey, lead me in this. I want to know, I want to grow. I want to be a part of your team. There's a different level of responsibility of, okay, I really need to show up now. Like I really need to invest in this. I really need to walk the talk. And that that desire to level up will also raise them, like level them up as well, and continue to develop that respect. Number 3 was courage. I liked this quote: a leader does not deserve the name unless he's willing occasionally to stand alone. From former US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. And this is what we learned from Harriet Tubman, right? Is that she was the epitome of that. Um, I I think in our day and age right now, no matter what you stand for, unless you really are going along with mainstream media, everything, there's going to be times where you feel like you're standing alone. In our business, there's going to be times where you feel like you're standing alone. You're going to feel potentially criticized. This is what stops so many, the majority, honestly, stops the majority. This quote here: good leaders do what's right, even at the risk of failure, danger, and criticism. So we have to ask ourselves, what does that mean for newer coaches and emerging Star Diamond coaches? What are the fears that stop the majority of them? And how should we respond as leaders, even if you're a new coach? How should we respond as leaders to these risks of failure, danger, and criticism? I'd love to hear any thoughts that you guys have on that.
I think, it goes back to what we were talking about with the honesty, where, we have to approach it like it's okay to fail sometimes, and it's okay to have these fears, because it just
Mhm.
comes with it. It just comes with life. But then show them, how they can, pick themselves back up. And what was the rest of the question? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's basically like you're exactly on point. We know that these fears of failure, fears of criticism, fears of danger, they're going to come. It comes with life and it will happen as a leader in this business. It's going to come and it's going to get a bigger risk as you continue to promote and grow your business. I'll never forget Lindsay Matway, who, if you're new and you don't know who she is, she's like a multi-top coach, like very, very incredibly successful. And she had no upline. She did it on her own, but she did a talk in one of our leadership conferences and is asked like, "Hey, if you've ever had a diamond coach quit on you, I want you to stand up." And a lot of the room stood up. If you've had 5 quit on you, stand up. And some people sat down. And she had like, I don't know, 32 diamond coaches quit in her career, and some of them were elite coaches quit. And so like if you think a coach cancellation hurts, imagine a 10-star elite coach quitting on your team. So with like, it's important for us to learn how to face the fear of criticism on social media now, to face the fear of failure now, to face the fear of rejection now, if our North Star is pointing to us being a leader in this industry. If you have someone who really doesn't want to, then that's a whole totally different ballgame. But if you're someone who really wants to be a positive influence and a good example and to make a difference in a lot of people's lives and be a leader of leaders, then we have to get super comfortable with being uncomfortable and facing fears all the time, because it's just like you said, Elena, it's part of life. But then we get to show people how to do that. We have to go first, but then we teach them. I was sweating, my armpits were sweating, and it was freezing cold when I did my first live video, like in my living room with the sun glaring off of my oily face, but I did it. Or the one time that I said the totally wrong word, or the one time I did a live video and completely forgot what I was saying and had to somehow recover. But guess what? Nobody died. Like, it was okay. And we move on. uh, so yeah,
For sure.
that. She's just so inspiring to me, that whole story. Okay, 4 was success. And I think this is good to remember, but I want us to never get down on ourselves Like if you're not where you wanted to be in your business by now, or if you're brand new and you don't have any success to speak of, it doesn't matter. It's who you portray yourself to be and where you're going. And that with time, you are seeing success in both the business and in your journey. Like eventually in a year, you don't want to be the person that hasn't had any transformation physically or mentally or emotionally or whatever, because you're not doing the things. If you're doing the things in our business, you'll see success. And if you don't, then you won't, you know? Fifth was loyalty. And sixth is the last point, and that was value added to others. The greatest source of respect for a leader comes from his dedication to adding value to others. And this kind of connects with what we talked about in the previous chapter. Be the coach that makes other coaches better. Be the coach that makes our company better. The example that I have of this is I have been hounded by compliance by Beachbody. They have very much a love-hate relationship with me. I have been told by Beachbody Corporate that they were not ready for me. I have had people compliment me and thank me so much for thinking outside of the box with marketing with Shakeology, and I've had phone calls at 9:30 at night from the head of compliance threatening me that I was putting our entire company at risk. So, with that being said, as you push the boundaries, as you come with new, fresh ideas that have never been done before, as you do these things as a leader, there will be people who push back, as is with every leader in history books, right? Someone has always not liked them, someone has always pushed them back. We have to get clear on who we want to be, the leader that we want to be, who we want to stand for, and why it's important to us. That's our North Star, and we make every decision based on if it's getting us closer to that, in more alignment with that. This could be applied to so many areas of our life, right? So many different opportunities. If you want to measure how this one was also very humbling. If you want to measure how much respect you have as a leader, the first thing you should do is to look at who you attract. And I think about the people who have come to me in the past and said, like, I'm attracting really weird people, or they are super needy and always wanting to spend less money. I think that we have to have the humbleness, that's not right, humility, to look in the mirror and say, okay, why is that happening? Because the people who want to spend money and invest in their health are out there, but why are you not attracting them? What is your mindset? What is your belief? What are you putting out there? Are you scared that they're going to think it's too expensive? You know, I think it's always comes back. Leadership is always comes back to looking in the mirror. When leaders are respected and they ask for commitment, their people step up and sign up. When leaders who are not respected ask for commitment or change, people doubt, they question, they make excuses, or they simply walk away. It is very hard for a leader who hasn't earned respect to get other people to follow. And when I read that, and I was like, what does this mean for a coach? When a coach has a really hard time getting any working coaches or getting anyone to actually follow a program, I have to look at that coach. And a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of the times, that coach is the person that's doubting themselves, that's questioning everything, that make excuses as to why they're not showing up, why they have never sent any invites, or why they haven't, gotten any coaches to sign up, or why they haven't seen results in their own health journey. And that's what they're attracting. And I'm not immune to this. Like, this is me too. I've just developed this skill that's super annoying and makes me overcommit to everything, that if I am being challenged like I am right now in this season of life that is so hard for me, I have to figure it out, because there's other people who need to figure it out, and they're struggling and they don't have the tools that I have. They don't have you guys. They don't have our team. They don't have our tool. They don't have, our workouts and programs. They don't have all of that. And so I have to figure it out so that I can help them figure it out. And to me, that's what being a coach is at the end of the day, is us going first and leading people. Any thoughts on that, you guys? That's the last point that I have, and my computer's going to die. Or any last minute things that really stuck out to you guys in this, or to share?
I just wanted to say that I think this was my favorite call so far because there was just a lot of things that I could really connect with, and it really does kind of make you think about yourself and what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself, and just everything we talked about. I think was really valuable to me, especially since I'm still kind of new, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah.
So thank you.
Yes, I'm so glad that you're here, and thank you for that feedback. Because every single call that we do, I'm like, okay, was this the right choice to do this book together? Like, and I still think it was. I think that there's a lot of goodness in it.
I was just gonna add, I think one of the nice things about the workbook is when you can like rate yourself with a number, because that kind of shows like your area of in the chapters when there is that like rating system. If you're being honest with yourself, I'm like, oh yeah, there's that area. And I liked I think it was at the end of this chapter where it says like, okay, so what are your lowest numbers that you rated yourself? That's where you need to spend the most time. And that can be it's kind of intimidating because those are usually the areas that we're not super confident with being in, and getting very uncomfortable with just those areas. So I've liked it so far. I just have to look and figure out like how I'm gonna navigate those lower scores.
Same. I agree. I think it's really good, and I hope so much. Like, some people will see a low score and they will get down on themselves, and I hope anyone watching this recording and anyone on our team knows that that's not the point. The point of it is for us to see it as an opportunity for us to grow in and to get clarity on why things may be not working for us like we want them to. Because that's the most frustrating thing, is when you're not seeing success in your business and you're staying in the same exact place for years on end and you're not growing. That to me is depressing, and that's exhausting, and that is frustrating. So when we can identify a problem, it's like with our bodies, like it's with our health. If you have all these symptoms, you don't know where they're coming from. When you can identify the problem, you could do something about it, even if it's something that's hard, or even if it's whatever. And this is the same with our business, really, in leadership, is identifying the problem areas so that we can grow in them together. So thankful to be doing this with you guys. I know I probably wouldn't have the tenacity to do it by myself. So talking it out is really helpful. And this is I've learned throughout the years that I have to create situations that I have to show up for other people. Otherwise I won't do it. So thank you for keeping me accountable. Thank you for showing up. Have an amazing night, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.